So today, I've got a story that's going to make your heart melt, and honestly, it's a nice break from all the drama we usually cover on this channel. We're diving into the world of Jeremy Roloff and his wife Audrey. And let me tell you, this family is giving us all the wholesome vibes. But stick around, because there's actually a lot more to unpack here than you might think, and by the end of this video, I want to know what you think about everything they've got going on. Now let's talk about Jeremy Roloff. If you're not familiar with the name, let me give you some background, because this family has quite the story. Jeremy and his wife Audrey have been together since they got married back in 2014. And since then, they've been busy. Like, really busy. We're talking 4 kids kind of busy, you guys. Their family started with their first child, daughter Ember Jean, who was born in 2017. Then came their first son, Bode James, in 2020. Just a year later, in 2021, they welcomed their second son, Radley Knight. And then, because apparently 3 kids wasn't enough, they had their fourth child, daughter Mirabella, who arrived in May 2024. 4 kids in 7 years! Can you even imagine? The chaos, the noise, the constant activity. I'm exhausted just thinking about it. But here's what's really interesting about this family. And this is where I want you to pay attention, because it tells you a lot about who they are and what they value. Jeremy actually left reality television back in 2018. He walked away from the cameras, walked away from the spotlight, walked away from what I'm sure was a pretty decent paycheck. And why? Because he and Audrey wanted to focus on their personal ambitions and, most importantly, on parenting their children away from the public eye. Now, I find that really fascinating because we live in an era where everyone wants to be on reality TV, everyone wants to be an influencer, everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame. But Jeremy and Audrey, they did the opposite. They said no thanks to all of that and chose privacy for their family instead. But don't worry, they still share plenty on social media, which is how we know what's been going on with them. And honestly, what Audrey shared back in May 2023 really gives us insight into their parenting philosophy, and I think it's worth talking about. She posted on Instagram about how much joy she feels spending time with her family, and this is what really caught my attention. She wrote, "Having kids ages 3+ has been so fun for Jeremy and I because we both have always had a passion for preserving childhood." Preserving childhood. Let that phrase sink in for a moment. In a world where kids are glued to iPads, where they're overscheduled with activities, where childhood seems to be getting shorter and shorter, Jeremy and Audrey are actively trying to preserve it. She continued, "Since becoming parents, we have longed for the days of giving our kids a magical childhood, full of play, time in nature, building and creating, working together, being together, and learning by doing." Okay, can we just appreciate that for a second? Full of play, time in nature, building and creating, learning by doing. This isn't about structured activities or expensive toys or the latest gadgets. This is about letting kids be kids. This is about mud pies and tree climbing and using their imaginations. And honestly, I think there's something really beautiful about that philosophy. What do you guys think? Drop a comment below and let me know. Do you think kids today are missing out on the kind of childhood that previous generations had? I really want to hear your thoughts on this. Now let's talk about each of their kids individually, because each one has their own unique story, and I think it's really sweet how much thought Jeremy and Audrey put into their children's names. First up, we have Ember Jean Roloff, who is now 8 years old. She was born on September 10th, 2017, weighing 7 pounds, 13 ounces. And the story behind her name? It's actually really romantic and sweet. In a video posted to TLC's YouTube channel about a month after her birth, Jeremy and Audrey explained that they fell in love around campfires. Campfires. How cute is that? And that's where the name Ember comes from. Campfires and embers had a lot of significance for our relationship, Audrey explained in the video. And Jeremy added, "And we just loved the name. It's beautiful, short, clean, unique." I love that they chose a name that has such personal meaning to them. It's not just a name they heard somewhere or thought sounded pretty. It represents an important part of their love story. That's the kind of detail that I think makes naming a child so special. For Ember's 6th birthday back in September 2023, Audrey posted the sweetest tribute on Instagram. She described her daughter as joyful, creative, fun, resourceful, smart, compassionate, helpful, thoughtful, kind, and always looking out for anyone who might feel left out. Can we talk about that last part for a second? Always looking out for anyone who might feel left out. That tells you so much about how this little girl is being raised. At just 6 years old, she's already thinking about others, already showing empathy and compassion. That doesn't just happen. That comes from intentional parenting. Shortly after that birthday, Ember started kindergarten, and like many proud parents, they took first day of school photos. But here's what I thought was really cute. They had her pose with a chalkboard that listed all her interests. She loves swimming, playing in the mud, and her family. And when asked what she wants to be when she grows up, an artist or bookmaker. Playing in the mud made the list! I love that. In a world where parents are constantly worried about their kids getting dirty, Ember proudly lists playing in the mud as one of her favorite things. That tells you everything you need to know about the kind of childhood she's having. Now, here's a fun family connection. Jeremy has a twin brother named Zach Roloff, and Zach and his wife Tori had their son Jackson in May 2017, just a few months before Ember was born. So Ember and Jackson are close in age, and apparently very close as cousins. Both Ember and Jackson got to participate in their grandmother Amy Roloff's wedding in August 2021 as flower girl and ring bearer. Audrey posted about it on Instagram, calling them the cutest flower girl plus ring bearer duo you ever did see, and adding that they crushed it. I bet that was absolutely adorable to watch. There's something so sweet about having your grandchildren participate in your wedding like that. Next up is Bode James Roloff, who is now 6 years old. He was born on January 8, 2020, and he was a big baby, 9 pounds, 2 ounces. Audrey revealed on Instagram shortly after his birth that his name means messenger. But there's more to the name than just its meaning. According to Audrey, Bode is also a nod to her maiden name, Bode. And James? That's a family middle name that both Jeremy and his dad, Matt Roloff, share. So this name connects Bode to both sides of his family, which I think is really special. And here's a story that gave me chills. During Audrey's third trimester with Bode, she and Jeremy weren't completely sure about using that name. They were considering it, but they weren't 100% committed. And then something kind of amazing happened. Jeremy's grandmother called him out of the blue one day and said, "I have a really good name suggestion for you. What about Bode?" Can you imagine? They were already considering that exact name, and then Jeremy's grandmother independently suggests it without knowing they were thinking about it. Audrey described it as a confirming affirmation, and honestly, I can see why. When something like that happens, it feels like a sign, doesn't it? In September 2023, Bode started preschool, and just like his big sister, he got the chalkboard treatment for his first day of school photos. His chalkboard revealed that he loves tractors and trains, and he enjoys playing and singing with his sister Ember. The bond between these siblings seems really strong, which is so heartwarming to see. Then we have Radley Knight Roloff, who is now 4 years old. He was born on November 8, 2021, and his arrival was announced just a few months after Jeremy and Audrey shared in July 2021 that they were expecting their third child. And once again, there's a great story behind his name. The couple chose Radley because they thought it was really rad. I love the pun there, but it also has a meaning. Audrey noted on Instagram that the name means red meadow or meadow of reeds, which she described as an image of peace and natural beauty. And the middle name, Knight? That honors Jeremy's mom, Amy's maiden name. So once again, we see them choosing names that connect their children to their family history and heritage. Now here's where Radley's birth story gets really interesting, and if you're squeamish, you might want to skip ahead a few seconds. Audrey described his entrance to the world as wild, but also one of the most harmonious experiences. And here's why. Radley was born en caul. For those of you who don't know what that means, and I had to look it up myself when I first heard about it, being born en caul means the baby comes out still inside the intact amniotic sac. It's extremely rare and is considered lucky in many cultures. Some people even call it being born with a veil or born with a caul. For Radley's second birthday in 2023, Audrey shared another sweet message on social media about her love for him. She wrote about his excitement about all things dirt and tractors, his love for rides, and his eagerness to keep up with his older brother and sister. There's that dirt theme again. These kids are clearly being raised to appreciate nature and not be afraid of getting messy. I think that's so refreshing in today's world, where everything is so sanitized and controlled. And finally, we have the newest addition to the family, Mirabella May Roloff, who was born on May 23, 2024. And her birth story is really special, because Audrey gave birth at home with the whole family present. Welcoming Mirabella peacefully into the world in our bedroom with our whole family there to greet her was an absolute dream, Audrey wrote on Instagram. A home birth with all the kids there. That's not something everyone would choose to do, but for Jeremy and Audrey, it was clearly an important experience. Jeremy posted separately about it, saying, "It was a profound experience being that intimate and close to the moment. Audrey is a superhero, and Mirabella is beautiful. Very grateful." The way they announced the pregnancy back in November 2023 was really cute too. They posted a video on Instagram showing the whole family, Audrey, Jeremy, Ember, Bode, and Radley, standing in a line taking turns whispering the news into each other's ears. The video ended with their youngest at the time, Radley, excitedly saying, "Big brother!" What a creative and fun way to share such exciting news. And you can see how involved all the kids are in this family journey. So here's what I'm taking away from all of this. Jeremy and Audrey Roloff have created what seems like a really intentional, thoughtful family life. They've stepped away from reality TV to focus on their kids. They're raising their children with an emphasis on nature, play, creativity, and family connection. They put real thought into their children's names, connecting them to family history and personal meaning. And they're sharing their journey in a way that feels authentic and genuine. Now, I want to hear from you. What do you think about their parenting approach? Do you admire their decision to leave reality TV? What about having a home birth with all the kids present? Would you do that? Drop your thoughts in the comments because I genuinely want to know what you think about all of this. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more wholesome family content mixed in with our usual celebrity drama, smash that like button. It really helps the channel and lets me know what kind of content you want to see more of. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. I'm sending all the love to the Roloff family as they navigate life with 4 kids. It sounds like they're doing an amazing job creating that magical childhood they've always dreamed of giving their children. Until next time, this is Julie signing off. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.